Following program is produced by Project Bait and does not reflect the views of this station.
This is Mark Wells, and this is the Wells Report for My People. Over the past month, there were two depictions of black women that caused outrage in the black communities of Western Europe. The first was prompted by Dutch author Robert Vuji's debut novel entitled Alleen maar net mensen, which has been translated as Only Decent People. In the novel, the main character, David, who is white and Jewish and comes from an intellectual upper-class background, is on a mission to find a, quote, real black woman, unquote, with big breasts and thick buttocks. In his search, he comes across many women that adhere to the widespread stereotypes of the sexy, lascivious black woman that can be conquested for a few euros. The setting for David's search is the Bijlmer, an area of Amsterdam where the majority of black people live. The hypersexuality of the novel's black female characters caused outrage amongst members of the Dutch black community, who made their objections known at a public debate with the author. Regarding this issue, Gloria Wekker, a professor of gender and ethnicity at the Utrecht University and in the Netherlands, said, quote, Dutch literature has a tradition in this regard. It seems very difficult to touch the subject of black women without immediately associating sexuality with it. The black woman with her big buttocks and large breasts is a rewarding object of fascination. That literary image has an impact on the image of this group in the society, unquote. The second image that caused a stir in the Afro-European community was a poster plastered throughout the city of Karst in the German state of Lower Rhine. Promoted by Germany's Green Party, the caption on the poster reads, quote, the only reason to choose black, vote green, unquote. And beneath the words is a photo of a pair of white hands with fingernail polish grasping the naked derriere of a black woman. In Germany, the color black is associated with traditionally conservative Christian Democrats. So how is it that this image and message should be interpreted? It could mean that conservatives in Germany are only interested in black women for sexual purposes. It could also mean the Green Party's support of same-sex unions. The interesting thing is that, in the view of the Green Party, the message is one of cultural diversity and racial tolerance, and thus far from being racist or sexist. So in the global context, what do images presented in the Dutch novel and the German poster say about the image of black women? History may provide an answer. Take the story of South African woman Sarkie Baartman. In the early 19th century, Baartman was sold to a trader who, after falling into financial hardship, saw in Baartman's ample derriere a source of income that could be exploited in Europe, where people were fascinated by the peoples of Africa. Exhibited and promoted as a savage representation of deformity and hideousness in freak shows, Baartman became a symbol of the sexual deviance associated with all women of African descent. Nicknamed the Hottentot Venus, Baartman was objectified in every possible way, suggestively dancing in front of gawking crowds in flesh-colored sheath that made her appear to be nude, and eventually turning to prostitution after Europeans lost interest in her. Baartman also performed for crowds in Paris, where she died at the age of 26. After her death, her body was cast in wax. Her brain and genitalia were pickled and kept in jars on public display in the Paris Museum of Natural History until 1974. Her remains were only returned to South Africa in 2002, nearly 200 years later, after a 1994 request to the French government from South African President Nelson Mandela. African-American Josephine Baker became the highest paid black woman in the 1930s by performing her sexually titillating dances for French audiences in her infamous banana skirt. Baker herself knew that her career was based on European fascination with her backside and her embodiment of stereotypical representations of black female sexuality. At a time when African-American women in the U.S. were trying to downplay these images, Baker willingly partook in her own exploitation and became a rich woman. We still see many examples of this today. Consider the widespread use of African-American women as video vixens and sexual fodder in popular rap and R&B music videos. In 2002, Actress Halle Berry won an Oscar after starring in a film featuring one of the most explicit sex scenes in the recent history of American film. In Brazil, dancer model Valeria Valença is a symbol of third world eroticism as seen in the annual Brazilian Carnival. For 14 years, Valença danced nearly completely nude for a worldwide audience, enticing thousands of European men to flock to Brazil yearly in search of the beautiful, sexually available mulatta. And for purposes of clarity, different from American standards, in Brazil, any attractive light to medium brown skinned woman of African descent can be labeled mulatta. In conclusion, it's obvious that there are many black women out there who are willing to contribute to the sexualized image of black women worldwide for their individual financial prosperity. But what does this effect have on black women who would like to be respected for their intellectual capacity and humanity, rather than their physical attributes or perceived sexual performance? Maybe Maria Augusta Arruda has the answer. Arruda is Afro-Brazilian and a professor at the State University of Rio de Janeiro. In 2008, at the luxurious Copacabana Palace Hotel, she was awarded a $20,000 prize for her work in oxidase activity in inflammatory response, vascular illnesses, and cancer. The irony is that only months before her award, she was denied entrance into this very same hotel because someone mistook her for one of the hundreds of nude and semi-nude brown-skinned dancers put on display during Carnival. Now, I'm not trying to hate on the player, but given the treatment and or public opinion of black women due to cases like the Clarence Thomas Anita Hill hearings, the 2006 Duke Lacrosse team rape case, and the 2007 rape and torture of Megan Williams, I have to ask, is it really worth it? Given the power of the almighty dollar, I suppose I already know the answer, but I thought I'd ask anyway. This is Mark Wells, and this has been the Wells Report for My People.
Hi, springtime is home improvement time, and I'm here from All Home Improvement to solve your repair needs. For an estimate, call area code 313-896-3603. Again, area code 313-896-3603.
There are 3 basic necessities every business needs: a business plan, a bookkeeper, and a website. Call Project BAIT for all 3. Call 313-871-3333. That's 313-871-3333.
I'm Geraldine Watkins, the director of the Continental Little Rock Family Life Center, located at 8904 Woodward Avenue at the corner of Holbrook in Detroit. We offer swimming, basketball, as well as a full fitness center. We also have a beautiful hall available for rental of all occasions. For more information regarding programming and services, please contact us at 313-871-4673. Again, 313-871-4673.
The preceding program was produced by Project BAIT and does not reflect the views of this station.